Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange.
All right, so get this. Jaguar Wright just came out swinging, and what she's claiming about Diddy, it's not just wild, it's potentially criminal. She's saying there might have been a secret connection between Diddy and the people who were supposed to judge him in court. Yeah, like someone on the inside. A direct pipeline to the jury. That's not just throwing shade, that's blowing the whole trial wide open. Now, before you roll your eyes, this isn't just some random TikTok rant. Jaguar's the same person who called out half the industry years before the rest of the world caught on. And when she talks, it's usually because she knows something.
The last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those hearings.
But here's the craziest part. No one's denying it. No media headlines, no legal statements, not even a whisper from Diddy's camp. Just silence. So now we've got to ask, did Diddy play the system? Was this trial ever even legit? Or is Jaguar exposing something bigger than we were ready for? Let's break it all down, because once you hear the full story, there's no unhearing it. So before we go any deeper, let's talk about who Jaguar Wright actually is and why her voice in this situation hits different. She's not some anonymous Twitter user looking for clout. Jaguar was once a rising R&B star, known for her powerful voice and ties to legendary groups like The Roots.
The Sean Diddy Combs trial has started, and I told you that I would give you an update when it's pertinent. So a lot of things have happened today, including they have chosen the 12 jurors that will decide Diddy's fate.
But over the years, she's become something else entirely, a full-on truth bomber for the entertainment industry. And whether you think she's brave or unhinged, there's no denying one thing. When Jaguar speaks, the internet listens. This is the same woman who publicly accused Common of assault before it was trendy to call out celebs. She's blasted artists like Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, claiming they knew about the industry's darkest secrets. She's even called out record execs, handlers, and spiritual gatekeepers, people the public rarely sees, but who allegedly control everything behind the curtain.
It was a family affair inside the courtroom. Diddy entered the court wearing a white shirt and a casual crew neck sweater. He faced his mom and his kids and placed his hand on his heart, made a symbol of the heart with his fingers, and blew them a kiss.
And here's the thing, she doesn't sugarcoat anything. No PR filter, no vague illusions. When Jaguar calls you out, she names names and drops details. Which brings us to why she matters in Diddy's case. Jaguar's been circling Diddy's name for years. She's accused him of being part of a larger system that protects predators, manipulates power, and buries victims. Long before the raids, long before the lawsuits, she was already talking about Diddy's alleged lifestyle and the people who enable it. So now, when she starts talking about jury tampering,
Diddy's lawyers had argued that he had made good faith efforts by showing up in New York, ready to surrender to face these charges, but prosecutors said that he could not be trusted, that he has a history of trying to intimidate witnesses, including some who are going to be witnesses in this case.
People take notice, because this isn't just some new accusation. This is part of a pattern she's been warning about for a long time. And the scariest part? She might not be alone this time. Other insiders, ex-bodyguards, former assistants, even fellow artists, have started echoing the same thing, that Diddy's reach goes way beyond Hollywood. It reaches into courtrooms, into politics, into places we never expected. So yeah, Jaguar Wright might be loud, raw, and controversial.
I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. The highly anticipated trial against Sean Diddy Combs is now underway. It was a whirlwind day. A jury was seated. Opening statements were delivered, and the first two witnesses, a male escort and a former security guard, were called.
But when she says someone like Diddy could have had influence over a jury, you better believe people are starting to lean in and listen. All right, so let's get everyone caught up. Because to understand why Jaguar's claim hits so hard, you need to know the full chaos surrounding Diddy right now. And trust me, it's a lot. Diddy isn't just facing rumors anymore. He's facing full-blown legal warfare. This all really exploded when federal agents raided two of his mansions, one in Los Angeles and one in Miami. We're not talking about a casual knock on the door. We're talking helicopters, tactical units, full-force government action. Homeland Security wasn't playing.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back behind bars, a magistrate judge denying him bail, saying that there were no conditions that she could conceive of that would make her confident that he would appear again for other court appearances. The judge saying, "My concern is this is a crime that happens behind closed doors."
Why? Because multiple lawsuits, some of them involving allegations, have been stacking up fast. The most infamous one so far? That came from singer Cassie, his former long-term girlfriend. She accused Diddy of years of abuse, control, and being trafficked within what insiders are now calling a black market celebrity ring of sorts, where drugs, coercion, and exploitation were allegedly normalized. And that case? It settled in less than 24 hours. No trial, no cross-examination, just a fat check and silence.
The decision guarantees Combs will face trial beginning just 4 days from now that will test whether one of music's most prolific figures used his power, wealth, and fame to exploit both women and men for decades.
That alone raised eyebrows. But then the dominoes started falling. More alleged victims stepped forward. Civil suits piled in. And while Diddy's lawyers have denied everything, the energy around this case has changed. It's no longer about a celebrity scandal. It's starting to feel like a cover-up unraveling in real time. Which brings us to the jury. One of the key lawsuits started heading toward federal territory, where a jury would need to decide if Diddy was guilty of some of the most serious accusations imaginable.
The very first piece of evidence introduced, an unedited version of this March 2016 surveillance video obtained by CNN at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. An off-duty LAPD officer working security that night testifying about what Ventura told him.
But now Jaguar's saying that process? It might have been compromised from the start. She's hinting that someone tied to Diddy had inside access, potentially a way to sway jurors, plant someone sympathetic, or at least monitor the pulse of the courtroom. And that's the big what if everyone's afraid to say out loud. What if the system that was supposed to hold him accountable was rigged before it even began? This is why Jaguar's words matter now more than ever, because this isn't just about a music mogul. This is about whether one of the most powerful men in entertainment might have manipulated the very structure meant to bring him to justice. And if that turns out to be true, we're looking at one of the biggest legal scandals in celebrity history. Now, here's where things take a sharp left turn, because what Jaguar Wright actually said isn't just dramatic, it's dangerous. In a live stream that's been circulating like wildfire, Jaguar didn't hold back. She claimed that Diddy had direct influence over someone connected to the jury process, whether it was a planted juror, a compromised official, or someone leaking info from behind the scenes. Jaguar suggested this trial might have been a setup from the jump. She didn't just hint. She said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "Y'all really think someone like Diddy's walking into court without knowing exactly who's sitting on that jury? He don't play fair. He plays dirty, and everybody knows it." That's not an accusation you throw around lightly, because what she's implying is federal-level jury tampering, a felony offense that can blow up entire cases. And it wouldn't just taint the trial, it would flip the entire courtroom upside down. Now, did she name names? Not yet. But she dropped breadcrumbs. She mentioned a middleman who's allegedly worked with Diddy before, someone who's been involved in both his legal strategy and his PR damage control, someone who, according to her, knows how to pull strings. And here's the thing, Jaguar doesn't usually speak in maybes. When she starts making these claims, it's because she believes there's a pattern. She pointed out that none of these court proceedings have been fully transparent, and that the timing of Diddy's legal wins always seems too convenient. Early settlements, cases dismissed quietly, victims going silent, and now, allegedly, a connection to the people deciding his fate. What's even more chilling is how she framed it. You think these billionaires play by your rules? They write the rules. And if you think they can't buy a verdict, you haven't been paying attention. Whether she has hard proof or not, the weight of her words isn't lost on anyone. Because even if it's just speculation, it's forcing people to re-examine everything. Every court date, every verdict, every silent exit. And if even a fraction of what she's saying holds water, then this case isn't just about what Diddy did in private. It's about what he may have done to escape accountability in public. So let's sit with this for a second. Because if what Jaguar Wright is saying is even partially true, the consequences are beyond serious. This isn't just some salacious side rumor anymore. This could flip the entire legal process on its head. We're talking federal jury tampering, a felony that carries prison time for anyone involved, including the defendant. If Diddy or his legal team had any kind of improper communication with a juror, or someone involved in jury selection, that's enough to declare a mistrial, throw out previous rulings, and potentially trigger an entirely new federal investigation. And remember, this isn't just some low-level courtroom drama. Diddy is being accused of things like coercion, abuse, and running what some insiders are calling an entertainment industry black market. If there's even a hint that he had his thumb on the scale during this process, the entire case could be invalidated. Let's not forget how high the stakes are for the victims, too. These are people who've come forward, many risking their reputations and safety, to call out one of the most powerful men in entertainment. If the system fails because it was compromised from the inside, that's not just a loss. That's a message to every other victim out there. You can speak up, but it won't matter. And think about the legal system for a second. If billionaires like Diddy can allegedly rig trials and sway juries, then what faith do the rest of us have in real justice? This goes beyond celebrity gossip. This touches the foundation of how we hold people accountable in this country. Because here's what people need to realize. Tampering with a jury isn't just about influencing a verdict. It's about destroying trust in the system itself. And once that trust is gone, it doesn't come back easy. So yeah, if Jaguar's telling the truth, this isn't just a Diddy scandal, it's a judicial nightmare. One that could unravel the entire case and expose the kind of behind-the-scenes power moves we usually only see in mob movies. And the silence around it, that might be the loudest evidence yet. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Because anytime someone drops a bomb like this, the first question is always, where's the proof? And honestly, that's where things start to get murky, but not in the way you'd expect. So far, Jaguar hasn't released hard evidence. No emails, no text messages, no names written in black and white. But that doesn't mean she's talking out of thin air. What she has done is point to patterns, connections, and timing that raise more than a few red flags. For example, she's mentioned a certain individual who's been spotted both at Diddy's private events and in legal circles connected to his defense team. She hasn't named them yet, but internet sleuths are already digging, and a few names are starting to pop up in comment sections and Reddit threads. And while we can't confirm anything yet, the buzz is growing. She's also pointed to the timeline of the trial, saying it was too clean, like how certain motions got approved faster than usual, or how some accusations that were supposed to be heard just quietly disappeared. There are court watchers who've been saying the same thing, claiming something felt off from the beginning. And this isn't happening in a vacuum either. Remember Diddy's ex-bodyguard Uncle Ron? He's been posting cryptic videos for months, hinting that Diddy had leverage over multiple people in high places, not just in entertainment, but in politics and law enforcement too. Jaguar's claim, in a weird way, lines up with what others have been whispering for a while now. So no, we don't have a smoking gun yet. But what we do have is a growing web of connections, silence from the people being accused, and a ton of coincidences that are starting to feel less like coincidence and more like a cover-up. And let's not act like this kind of thing has never happened before. Just ask anyone who followed the Harvey Weinstein or Jeffrey Epstein cases. People in power have been protecting themselves through the system for years. The difference now? Social media is making it a lot harder to keep things buried. So maybe Jaguar doesn't have the receipts in her hand just yet. But the question is, does she need to? Because sometimes, when the smoke gets thick enough, you don't need to see the fire to know it's there. All right, so here's the part that really makes you sit up straight. After a claim this explosive, alleging that Diddy might have had a secret line into the jury, you'd expect some serious blowback, right? Maybe a legal rep denying it. Maybe a media outlet calling Jaguar delusional. Maybe even Diddy himself coming out to set the record straight. But guess what? Nothing. Just silence. No statements, no clarifications, no lawsuits for defamation. Just crickets. And that silence? It speaks volumes. Because if there's one thing Diddy's known for, it's protecting his image. This is a man who's sued over less. So why not clap back here? Why not send a cease and desist? Why let someone like Jaguar Wright accuse him of jury tampering and walk away untouched? Some say it's because the claim's too wild to dignify. Others, they think it hit way too close to home. Even the media, the blogs, the gossip pages, the cable news shows that normally eat this stuff up, have barely touched it, which is strange, because let's be real, if anyone else made this claim, headlines would be flying. Jury tampering bombshell, Diddy accused of rigging his own trial, but instead, we've got radio silence. And let's not ignore how predictable this media silence has become. We've seen this script before. Whenever someone powerful is backed into a corner, the coverage starts shrinking. Suddenly, it's about sources close to the situation, or no comment at this time. Meanwhile, victims are dismissed, and whistleblowers like Jaguar get branded as crazy. But here's the twist. She's not alone anymore. Former insiders like Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Uncle Ron, and even old Bad Boy Records affiliates have started chiming in with vague warnings, cryptic comments, and stories that eerily align with Jaguar's timeline. They're not directly confirming her jury claim, but they're definitely not denying that Diddy has deep systemic influence that goes way beyond music. So the question becomes, is the silence protection or proof? Because when everyone who should be talking suddenly shuts up, that's not just odd, it's intentional. And it might be the strongest confirmation we've got that this story is a whole lot bigger than just one woman's rant on Instagram Live. Let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just a celebrity headline. It's not just about Diddy. This story hits at something way bigger. What happens when power gets to rewrite the rules of justice? If what Jaguar Wright is saying is true, then Diddy didn't just play dirty behind closed doors. He may have manipulated the very system designed to hold him accountable. And that's terrifying, because it means that when people like him are accused of horrific crimes, trafficking, coercion, abuse, it doesn't matter how loud the victims are or how damning the evidence is. If you can pull strings behind the scenes, you win before the trial even starts. This kind of influence isn't just unfair, it's dangerous. It sends a clear message. If you're rich enough, powerful enough, and connected enough, the courtroom doesn't scare you. The courtroom is just another boardroom, another place where deals get made, outcomes get massaged, and victims get steamrolled. And what about the people who did speak up? The survivors, the former employees, the insiders who risked everything to tell their stories? If this trial was compromised, if the jury was tampered with, then their bravery was met with betrayal by the very system that promised to protect them. That's why this isn't some throwaway tabloid rumor. This is about the integrity of justice itself. Because if Diddy can allegedly manipulate a jury, who else can? How many other cases have we seen, celebrity or not, where the truth never saw the light of day because someone behind the scenes was pulling levers? This moment isn't just exposing Diddy, it's exposing a blueprint. One we've seen before with Epstein, Weinstein, and R. Kelly. One where wealth, fame, and silence are used as weapons to dodge accountability. And Jaguar? Like her or not, believe her or not, she's ripping that blueprint apart, loudly, publicly, and now everyone's forced to look at it. Because once you ask the question, what if this whole trial was rigged from the beginning? You can't unask it. And suddenly this isn't about one man, it's about all of them. So now we're left with one question that nobody really wants to answer. Did Diddy rig his own trial? Was the courtroom ever even real? Or was it just a stage with everyone playing their part? Because if Jaguar Wright is right, and let's be honest, she's been right before, then this whole thing was never about justice. It was about control, influence, keeping the truth locked away while the cameras rolled and the headlines faded. But here's the part where you come in. What do you think? Is Jaguar exposing a real conspiracy here? Or is this just another internet rabbit hole? Do you believe someone as powerful as Diddy could actually plant influence inside the justice system? Or is that just too crazy to be real? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what side of this you're on. Team Jaguar's telling the truth? Or team she's reaching? And if you've seen the other claims she's made about Jay-Z, Clive Davis, even Beyonce, you already know this rabbit hole runs deep. And listen, if you think this video was wild, wait till you hear what she said about Diddy's connection to one of the most powerful media executives in the game. That story's coming next. And trust me, it makes this jury thing look tame. So don't just scroll away. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and get ready. Because the stories they don't want you to hear? Yeah, we're telling all of them.